I love printing. I love printing. I love it. I love printing. Hey everybody, I want to welcome you back to another edition of Printer to Printer. Today, I am not talking to a printer. Today, I'm talking to what I'll call an expert in AI. We got Alex Northstar. How you doing, Alex?
Pretty good. Thank you for the invite, my good man Warren, and nice to see you again after New York.
After New York, after Las Vegas.
Vegas.
All good. So I met Alex at the first inaugural Imagine AI Live conference in Vegas, end of March, which I will just say was, if you weren't there, too bad for you. But we met there and we were chatting and everything. And Alex just has a really good way of explaining and making people feel comfortable with AI and everything that goes around it. So let's just jump right into it. And I'll let him start off first. I'm in the print packaging world. Personally, I think everyone in the print packaging world moves a little slow compared to the way the rest of the world works. ChatGPT was announced 24 months ago. Everybody started jumping on it. Everybody's talking about it. Most people have no idea what it's really all about. I think when I talk to people, a lot just think it's about ChatGPT and maybe helping them write a letter or an email or a newsletter or a post, something like that, right? So the reason I have Alex here is I wanted to help break, all the thoughts of how people are actually thinking about it and get them onto a straighter track so they could learn a little bit more, and then hopefully their thoughts and ideas could be expanded on once they have a really better idea of the direction. So that being said, basic definition of AI.
All right, perfect. So first of all, happy to be here with you, my good man Warren. So just to give the good people home there listening to this a bit of context. So I've been working with these technologies for around 2 years at this point. I wrote my master's thesis about it back in 2018. So back then, nobody cared about AI, and you would not get a date with a girl talking about chatbots. Which means, though, that I had a lot of time to test these things out, to make mistakes, to learn what works, what doesn't work. And that's what I normally teach my clients when I do consulting, when I train teams to get proficient in AI. All right, just to know why you should listen to this guy with a big nose here today. Now, having said that, right, general definition of AI. There's multiple ways to do it. Of course, everybody knows it's artificial intelligence, but in its current form, the way it works, this is essentially like a word predictor, right? So I don't want to make it fancy, schmancy, nothing too technological. Just for people to understand, it basically has a lot of information plugged into it, billions of words, billions of articles, information, and it can accurately predict what is the next word that would make sense based on your request, right? So if you're asking for you go to ChatGPT or one of these systems, if we refer to, AI, how we currently understand it, how we currently think about it, they predict words very efficiently. This is important to know because I've been hearing people saying, it has feelings, it decides to take over the world. That's not how it works. The technology at its base core is a word predictor software. Okay, it doesn't love you, the AI girlfriend that people are trying to build. It doesn't have feelings for you, but it's a great tool to get more work done depending on your specific task. Is that okay with you, Warren, that definition, or do you want me to go deep?
No, so far it's dead on perfect.
Thanks.
Right. So when it came, how long has AI been around? Because it didn't just come out 24 months ago when people heard about it for the first time.
So I'm going to mention the name of a lady that none of you are familiar with, which is called Eliza. Now, this was made in the 70s, pretty much. This was one of the first chatbots. Again, one of these primitive word predictor tools. And since then, this technology exists since a long time. The problem was that that's why now it exploded, that it was never practical on the end user. Right, you needed to have these huge server rooms. You need to have these huge to build also these systems. They were very clunky. So if we compare, for example, how AI was, how these chatbots were before ChatGPT, they were super clunky, super expensive, and hard to use. That's why nobody wanted them. Just nerds like me read about them, right? Because I was interested not in human-to-human communication. I speak a few languages. I was like, let me take it a notch up. Let me see human-to-machine communication. That's how I got into this universe.
Well, it's kind of like with the computer in the beginning, right? With
Yeah,
IBM, they had that big mainframe, and then it took how many years before it was on your desk, and then how many years before it was over here, and now we actually have computers in here.
absolutely. So that's the whole progression that was the same with chatbots. So if you tried them out in 2019, they were these simple, assistant somehow that you would say like, okay, if this, then do this. If not, then do this else. So it was just simple yes or no most of the time. Now it's different. Now you have this generative AI where it gives you the resemblance of thought process, of logic. And this changes everything. That's why people now are using it a lot more. It's faster, it's much, much cheaper. So now the main audience, like, hey, I can actually use this. It's accessible. I don't need to buy like $30,000 of software to run it in my company's back lobby or something. So, but it's been around since a long time. This is not since 2 years. This has been since like 60 years, if not more.
No, for sure. So it's funny when you mention, and we all know that it has no feelings, it has no personality, right? But when I'm going in and I'm writing something, I always write, could you please? And then I end it with thank you. And then it says good luck, right? But it's almost as if you have a friend there, but it's not really your friend. It's just the way it's trained to react.
So I tell people in this scenario two things normally. First of all, if they will become terminators, good choice that you've been polite with it. Second, it does actually improve performance by a small margin if you use a positive tone with it. If you do like proper positive reinforcement, we're telling it, do your best, take it step by step. I'm going to give you a $200 bonus if you get this right. This is literally academic research that they did. It shows that it increases the performance. But being positive helps. Having said that, when I see people saying like, "Hey, ChatGPT, how are you? Can you let's do like?" There's no need for that. It's just software, my man.
At that point, go
You're
online
just
and
being
get
a
a
nice
friend.
man. You're just being a very nice, polite person. I respect that. You're probably Canadian, right?
Canadian, absolutely polite. I just find it funny how I do that. And I put something in because I was writing an ad for something, and when it ended, it said "good luck," and I was like, "Oh, thank you." So, anyway, it's very
Let's
funny.
go.
It
Yeah.
so when I saw you speak in New York, we were talking about not we you were talking. I was listening just about saving time in your day.
Yeah.
So for the people listening, I'm thinking let's talk basic. So ChatGPT just came out, right? What were you doing, or what do you suggest to some people that they use it for to save some time in the day? But not only are they saving time in the day, when I use it, I feel sometimes I'm sounding even more professional, right? When I write
Yeah.
something, I take out the big words so it sounds like me.
Yeah.
But it just sounds like I'm getting a whole lot more done. And the biggest thing for me is I have no anxiety, or I've minimized the anxiety when trying to write something or come up with a thought, an idea, and how to expand on it.
Right.
So, like, what are some of your thoughts?
First of all, the advice that normally, because I get asked this question, so like I would keep it. Don't jump into the technical part. Don't overwhelm yourself because some people is like, oh, I should definitely learn this theory. How do these GPTs work? No, you don't. Most of the time, the clients I work with, the CEOs, the business owners, they don't care what AI is. They want to know how can I make more money? How can I save time? That's totally legit. That's okay. Going with this mindset, right? So I see a lot of hype out there. There's the fluff. Every day you see these titles like, oh my God, this is replacing graphic designers. This is doing that. New tools. You don't need none of this. What you need to do is figure out the stuff that you do often per day. Do you send the same email with the same information 3 times per week, 4, 5 times per day? Figure out what you do repeatedly, take these tasks, and then try to find ways with either ChatGPT or some tools that I can also explain to basically find shortcuts to do them fast, right? If you have to contact suppliers, if you have to contact vendors, and you do this repeatedly, create a little template for yourself so that ChatGPT writes your emails, where you just give it the name of the vendor, it writes the email for you, looks professional with your information, and instead of you writing there 20 minutes of it's a pleasure to get to know you and work together, like here's my email, they don't need to know it's been done with ChatGPT. 30 seconds, and you can contact 20 vendors instead of just 3 per day, right? So you're essentially either making yourself faster or you're doing the same tasks much easier. So start simple, find the tasks that you do, and ignore all the rest. Whenever new shiny tools comes out there, you don't need it. You need AI to work for you. That's how I would start with this stuff. And then learn a bit of prompt engineering also. This is another fancy schmancy word that they use, but you don't need to be a scientist. What it means simply how you talk with these machines. So the better you know how to give these commands, the better the result, right? There's a few hacks there to make it better. You can, for example, provide some previous examples of your emails so it knows how you talk, what you do. You can, for example, tell it your daily tasks. Some of the things I do for myself, because I'm a one-man team, right? So I ask it, hey, normally I do these tasks. Can you help me organize them for next week and give them in an order of priority? Because I'm overwhelmed, I have stress, whatever. And it does it for me. But it depends how you ask and how much context you provide, right? So there's better ways to do it that you learn with time slowly. But I would just start this way. Start simple, get it to work for you, get the benefits, and then add more and more steps on top of it. Don't get overwhelmed and try 50 new tools. It's not going to work.
So it's funny you say that, because since AI came out again 24 months ago, my feeds on my Instagram or my Facebook or TikTok are just filled with companies promoting AI courses and shoving shit down people's throats. And I'm like, unlike the AI conference we went to, which was, it was learning and sharing and nobody's selling anything, right? These are just looking to grab some money from you, right? Because I don't think most people that sign up actually know what to do after. But to most people, you don't need that, right? You can probably find someone like an Alex online, or Igor was there, and Igor does a lot of prompting, teaching, the hacks, and all of that. I think people are maybe better off finding somebody on YouTube who's explaining than signing up to spend money. What do you think about that?
It depends on your budget. So I can tell you from my experience, because I offer like the full range of products for every wallet pretty much. So I offer, for example, free education, because I believe everybody should know what these tools are and how to profit from them, right? How to put them to work. If some people say, but I don't want to go watch, YouTube videos, they're all over the place. Can I hire you to do tutoring for me, right? As a Spanish language teacher, as whatever that is, and they have the budget, they can also hire you for that. If they want everything, like they have a very specific request, right? So like I would love to know how to use VoiceFlow to build agents. For that, you can make like a more specific package or whatever. So I think it depends on the needs of the audience, and there should be there options for every type of person, right? For example, for me, it's important for seniors and students to do offer all the time free options, because I was a student, I was broke, but I would have learned to know how to use AI, right? So that's why I tell students, if you need my help, just contact me and I can try to give you a hand. If you're a senior who doesn't want to be left behind, and you want to win your time back, I do have resources for you, and they're simple to understand. I don't charge you nothing. And if you do have budget and you want to hire me because it's faster results, be my guest. But I do offer a lot of stuff for free, just so that everybody can benefit from it and not get replaced by AI in the next 2 to 3 years.
By the way, I love the fact that you call out students and seniors, because they are the beginning and the end of our community, and I think the most important. No, and what I'm referring to is just the people who don't really know AI, and then they're bombarded with all of this stuff to sign up for. I'm saying to them, don't sign up so fast till you're a little bit more comfortable, because there's a new one. And I laugh because in 24 months, where did all these experts come from?
I know where they come from. From the crypto sphere. Before they were called crypto bros and stuff like that. They were into dropship marketing, affiliate, and now they all pivoted into AI, and they do their best to make it happen. The thing is, what happens? They usually share with you these are the 50 new AI tools this week. And then I go and ask them, which is your favorite? Why? You know how many answers they get to that?
0.
Because they don't use them. They just share affiliate links. That's why they have these collections, and they get paid by these companies to keep shilling those affiliate links. I don't have affiliate links. I like the tools that I'm sharing, for example, for my workflows. I talk with the CEOs. They're nice people. I appreciate what they do. I use them for myself every day. They save time and they're useful. And I tell people like, hey, this helped me. Try it out. That's it. And I use around like 10 to 20 tools. They've been serving me great. I experiment every day with new stuff because that's what I do. It's my job. I don't need to shove them down with people's throats. They're like, oh, get this new tool. For what? For what?
Right.
That's my approach to it, though. That's just my approach.
That's why I connected with you, because I like the approach that you have. It's all simple. It's all laid back. It's take your time. It's do what's right. Don't do what you don't need to do.
Yeah.
Listen, when we talk about saving time, I personally, like, I have I pay for ChatGPT and I pay for Perplexity, right?
Yeah,
Can
same.
you tell us why it's a good idea to pay for the apps as opposed to use the light free versions?
Right. So first of all, because it's one of the best investments of your money that you can do. So I know that this will sound controversial sometimes, and I argue with people because. So I have two things for this, right? First of all, think about how much money you spend per month on alcohol. Just buying beers, alcohol, cigarettes. It's more than $20. I can bet you it's more than $20. Does that help you in being smarter, faster, saving?
Think about what you throw out at the end of the week that goes rotten in your food in your fridge because you didn't eat it.
Right. Also that one for sure. But I mean, how much stuff that we buy that we don't need is not helping you and it's more expensive than $20. So in my case, I've been buying this, like I've been always paying for them. And as I said, don't buy all of them at the same time because then you're going to be like me where you spend like every month like $500 on AI tools, but it's because it's my job. But these extra functionalities for $20, they do make a difference. For example, I remember a few months ago with ChatGPT, and this I can tell you the story, right? So I had this friend of mine, he's a PhD researcher in France. Okay, so smart guy. He comes to me and he's like, Alex, I know that you do this AI stuff. Can you help me? I have a lot of papers, and I heard you say that you can actually, analyze these papers with ChatGPT or something, but I can't do that. I don't know what to have to do. And I told him, yeah, just go into it and click the paperclip symbol and, upload your files and it could do data analysis for you. And he sends me a screenshot. Oh, I don't have that one. And it's like, you're not paying for ChatGPT Plus? And this was for me a turning point because you see, for $20, there were so many functionalities behind it. People have no idea they even exist. They had no idea that you could pay $20 and then you can upload documents and it can help you with those. That you can do code analysis and stuff like that. They just don't know. And then when they tell me, it's like, should I invest these $20? Like, man, I know you spent last week more than $20 on alcohol. So like, it's a little, and also when I talk with business owners, right, they try to be a bit cheap, and I say like, I don't know if I should invest this. Like it's so if you're not willing to invest $20 in your team and in your business, I don't know how you're going to be successful because I can't invest hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every month in my business to create better services, right? And that's how I can raise my prices and deliver better quality stuff. But if I'm going to be cheap for $20, it ain't a good spot to be in, honestly.
Well, the printing industry, if you're listening, and I do hope you're listening, you are pretty cheap. You are always finding ways to get at and not paying. And what I've been lately, I have to relax because I've been finding myself telling people like, "What are you? How could you not pay $20? What are you, cheap? You throw money away." And what it does in helping you, right? And listen, the light version of anything is light.
Yeah.
So who wants it?
But they don't know. That's the thing. So they don't know. That's why the product is like, oh, you can have it for free. Yeah, but you're missing on some functionalities and some powerful features. Because this was the same conversation that I had with a lot of people last year. Because I always paid for chat. Because when I realized how powerful this was, like, I need this immediately. And I was super, if they would charge me $200 per month to use it, I would pay it eyes closed. But don't tell this to OpenAI. What happened is people tried once ChatGPT 3.5, the dumber version of it, and they were like, oh, this thing is bad. No, AI is a fad. It doesn't work. And it's like, if you tried 1 month, the smarter version, it would have changed your whole year in business, your whole activity for your team, for your business, for whatever you do. They just didn't know. And I mean, $20 to test it 1 month, you could do that. I can promise you're going to get your money back worth from those $20.
By the way, I was in a restaurant the other day. I ordered whatever I ordered. It was some type of sandwich. It was $23. It came. I took 2 bites and it was awful, right? But I still paid for it. So I just say to myself, if I'm doing that, you have to pay for the things that can actually help you in life, right?
Yeah, investments.
And I right away I paid from it from the beginning, and just working it as the best I can. And I'll tell you, so even today, right, for everyone listening, I'm smart. I'm pretty smart, like so smart that I went to ChatGPT and I put in my thoughts on Alex and what I wanted to do and what I wanted to say. And it brought me up literally in 30, it took me 73 seconds to just type my thoughts down, because I type with two fingers still sometimes.
You can use the voice
And
feature. You can use the voice feature with the headphones. It's really
yeah,
cool.
I know. I forgot to press the command bar and it come up, but I'm getting better. But the point is, I put in my thoughts, and 30 seconds later, I had a whole little summary of which I'm asking some stuff. I'm asking stuff I'm making up on my own from this, and plus what you say. But I think the average person, before they go on and they prepare for something, could spend an hour, could spend 2 hours looking for information. And as we go on with chat, and I've had people say to me, "Oh, you use Chat GPT," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's what it's here for." I said, "You use toilet." Wait, I said, "You use toilet paper when you go to the bathroom, right?" That's what it's there for. So everything to make things easier, and forget the money. I think from a mental perspective, it just takes away, or it can take away, a lot of stress and anxiety when you're doing things. Because if you don't know where to start, or some people have writer's block and that they can't get started, that's me, because I got a little ADHD and dyslexia and whatever. And I would sit there sometimes in tasks for hours and walk away and flip out at myself because I wasn't getting it done. And then chat comes out and I sit down and I'm like, oh my God. And it just, if nothing else, it made me feel better, which was well worth the $20.
Yeah, like there's so many use cases. For example, like I would go walking on the beach and talk about my day. It was stressing me out. And I tell it, you're an expert therapist, I'm having the situation. Help me figure out some constructive ways to think about this. You have no idea how, like, I used this, I think, since like 3 months at this point. And every time I use it, I was like, damn, this is too good. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay for a therapist because this was actually very useful. Well, it could give me, like 5-6 ideas, and a couple of them is like, this is actually a really nice point of view that I haven't considered. It's making me feel better. So I go back, I write it in my journal, and that was it, right? I didn't have to pay a therapist like $80 per hour or something. I feel better, and it was instant, right? I just went, and nobody's judging me, right? Because if you go to your friends, they're like, oh, what's the problem? Or are you feeling depressed or something? Like, shit.
You don't go to friends for help.
Yeah.
Not with, and actually, no, you don't go to friends for help with certain things or anybody, because they will judge you.
Yeah, right. But that's true. That's what I'm saying. So when I talk with it, it's like, yeah, I'm feeling this specific way. I know it's bad, but like, help me figure this out so I can be productive and get back to my work. And then it gives me some ideas like, all right, that makes sense. I write it down and I keep moving.
At Imagine AI Vegas, Adam Brock and Andy Sackman, maybe.
Yeah, the two guys that have that like book on AI.
Right. They spoke the second. They were amazing. And even on their 15-minute podcast after, because they were talking about, and these are really, really smart guys. They're really connected to the tops of AI with Sam Altman.
Yeah, they had an interview
talking
with him,
to Bill Gates and all. I never met anybody who was so close to Bill Gates or Sam Altman before. But what was really amazing was when they were talking, and smart guys, and they said, we're sitting there sometimes in business and we're great partners, but we get into conflict. And sometimes we can't figure out what to do. So we go to our third co-founder, and they go to ChatGPT or one of the LLMs, and they put in their situation, and they will kind of use what comes up as advice or work around it. But that helps them solve some of their impasses or the debates when they get to them.
Makes a lot of sense. Like, that's how I do it, right? Because you don't have to call somebody else external, and then they have their own agenda and whatever. Like, this thing is like, I trust it.
There's
because
no bias.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's objective enough that whatever it gives me, all right, this is a point of view of this software, this machine. It's made to help me. I'll take it from there. I don't need to pay it nothing. It's not going to come and bite me in the leave this part out, 3 months later because I said some compromising information. So that's it.
What are some of the basic things that that you're using, or that people are using it for in their daily lives to save some time?
Right. So I can tell you from my use cases what I do. So for example, when I need to create presentations, I use this tool called Gamma. So it's Gamma with 2 M's, basically, for creating slide decks, stuff like that. So instead of me going into a PowerPoint or Google Slides or whatever, you just use this. It's very affordable. You can even try it for free with all the functionalities, and just create slides for you. You can have like 5 slides in 20 seconds. It's amazing. They look clean. They look beautiful. Helps me save a lot of time. I use, for example, some keyboard shortcuts, right? Because sometimes they have like long prompts that really help me a lot, but they're long. I don't want to do copy pasting and stuff like that. I have a tool called TextBlaze, helps me out a lot. Other use cases, my calls, for example, I record all of them with these AI tools so that later I can do sentiment analysis. I can get feedback on what I did right and what I did wrong. I can create project proposals and stuff like that from half an hour, 1 hour of conversation. I just take the transcript, put it into AI and ask it questions. It's been working great. So not only you save time, but you actually get smarter with these systems if you use them consistently, right? Research perplexity is like, I'm not using Google search since months at this point. I just go on perplexity. I don't get, whenever I ask a question, I don't get first the ads and then blog links. I get the answer to my question. And if I want to investigate more, I'm just going to check the source. Works great. Perplexity.
Oh, no, I think it's, well, that's why I have Chat and Perplexity. They're great. I mean, even coming up for just quick ideas, right? It just, you know what? I keep telling the story because and I had Jess on the podcast before, but Jess from Femularity,
yeah,
she has the best story of what she used AI for. And I'm sure you've heard it when she went shopping with her husband. They came home, went into the closet, to the pantry. She wrote down everything in the pantry that she has food-wise, including expiry dates. And she said at the end, I asked Chat to make me recipes with the food that's expiring soon so that I could make it tonight. And she got back a whole bunch of recipes. She made dinner. She said it was amazing and I will never waste food again.
Yeah.
So you talk about $20. How much food do you throw out every month if you want to get serious?
Yeah.
Right. And watch that.
I love also this is great, like outside the box thinking, right? Because like I can tell you so often, when people ask me the question, so what do you do with AI? Because the problem with this technology currently is like, it doesn't come with instructions. So they just throw this at you and it's like, good luck. And yeah, what am I supposed to do? Like anything. But then what's the problem here? That it's up to you to figure out use cases for yourself for this could be useful. So you see, in the case of Jessa, for example, I also did like that. Where I open my fridge, I take a picture and I tell, based on what you see, give me a recipe what I should be eating tonight. I did this at the gym. I went at the gym. I took a picture because you see, you go to the gym. You're alone. There's no personal trainer. What do you do? Are you going to look embarrassing trying some of those gizmos there and don't know what to do? I just take a screenshot and I tell, based on what you see, tell me how am I supposed to be using this in the best way. And I got the answer and then I go,
No way.
Yeah. And while I was doing this, I was like sitting, doing my exercise. I had my headphones and I was telling it, okay, now I need to write my newsletter. Here's are the topics, do some research and write for me a draft while I was doing bench presses. And somebody heard me. I think somebody heard me because at one point I was like, okay, now give it to me and I can bullet points. And people are like, who talks like that on the phone? Like, give me information, bullet points. And
while they're working out and bench pressing 250 pounds.
A bit less, but yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, there's so many use cases that people simply don't think about, right? And you tell them, it's like, what? Even another one, like I needed to park my car in Italy and in the beach somewhere. And man, they had like one of these signals with like, not signals, I don't even call them like those boards with like the instructions, right? When can you park? When can you not? So they're like, festivity from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., but not on the month of August. But I was like, I don't know, can I park here or not? I took a screenshot and I asked it, based on what you're seeing this, can I park the car or not? And it's like, yes, but only until 5 p.m. Perfect, thank you.
Wow. So I think in my world of print, I think people in sales, people in marketing, there's so many ways for them to use it. There's so many ideas. I think people have to get off the fact when they say to me, oh, you use ChatGPT, because it's no different than, oh, that's a nice book you have for your company. Did you use a writer?
But you see, I can tell you why. So based on my experience, I've been working with clients at this point for more than 1 year, different companies, and I've been getting also some negative feedback. Some people hate me for what I do. I can tell you that. You know what? Because they feel like it's cheating. When I tell them, it's like, hey, I'm seeing what you're doing. I can make this 5 times faster than you. You're wasting time. So it's 2 things at this point that happen. Either they're smart people and they're going to say, cool, can you teach me? I will pay you for that. Or teach me. I'm going to be glad to. Or second, they're going to be like, nah, but that's just cheating. We don't do it that way. And they're like, well, it's up to you if you decide to live in 2013. There's better ways to do this task. It's up to you. Because you can say like, oh, but use ChatGPT to write it. You hired a ghostwriter for $5,000. So I just found a technology that helps me do the same. It's up to you to use it smart, of course. But I'm just saying, you got tools available. It's up to you if you want to be smart or not with them.
Yeah, so I just want to touch on something. So you said ghostwriter. So I just finished a book just on my journey of print and just thoughts and everything. And I hired someone to help me because I can't write, right? So we did the interviews nonstop, and then he wrote, then he gave back to me, then I read it, then I made some changes, corrections, and at some point I said to him, "Have you used ChatGPT for it at any of it?" And he said, we use it for some. And I said, cool. I said, don't worry, I'm not threatening you. I'm just curious because I'd like to know who's using it where. And it's all good. And then a friend of mine said to me, well, what'd you hire a ghostwriter for or somebody? Why did you do it yourself using ChatGPT? And I said, really simply, I would not know a good book if it hit me in the head and how it's written. So it's great for doing things, but it's not, and it can't tell me if the book is going to be great either. So I think when I think of that, I think about the people who say, oh, you're going to lose your job to AI. You're not losing your job to AI. You're going to lose your job to someone who knows AI better than you.
Yeah, that's a smart observation. So I can tell you this, what you said is something very smart, because that's why I tell people we still need the humans in the loop. Because I can give you the example. I don't know how to code, all right? So, for example, I see out there AI can help you code if you give it the instructions, but that's the problem, because if I don't code, I don't know what's in. I wouldn't even know how to ask for this. So when ChatGPT gives me the answer, is that good code? Is that bad code? I don't know. And that's why AI won't save me with that. Like, that's why AI can't replace a coder, because you need this experience. For example, like my experience was actually teaching people like how to work. I was like a corporate trainer before, and my job was to get their attention, help them focus their skills, get better at what they do, improve their technical skills, their social skills, right? So I knew how to talk with people, and that's why when I give my prompts to ChatGPT, I know what the results I'm kind of expecting from the material and how to steer it, what actions it should be taking. But if I'm somebody that never talks to other people, like I don't know what to expect, what instructions do you give? You have no idea. Well, how do you distinguish, for example, like a good book from a bad book? If you write a lot, you would understand, right? You need killer headlines. You would need something, that catches attention. You need for example, when it's something to switch up at the topic, because if you just hammer them with the same information, it gets boring. So you need to have these kind of, different breaks and stuff like that. If you write a lot and you know the skill is transferable to AI to do it faster and better together with you. But if you don't know this, what can AI do for you? It can give you something at mediocre. You don't know what to do with it, and they're going to blame it on the AI. But it's like, do you know what you're asking from the machine? And I can tell you quite often, the people I work with or some of my students, I ask them, what are you trying to obtain with this? What are you trying to achieve? And they don't know. They just hope that ChatGPT reads their mind. And it doesn't work like that.
No, it's like I said to the author. Well, I'm the author; he's the writer. But I said to the writer, and I said, like, "Are you nervous about ChatGPT at all?" And he hesitated, which meant yes, he's nervous. And I said, "I think you got to change the way you think." I said, because what I think it's going to do is it might make the time you spend writing easier, because your client might give you more of what he's thinking in a ChatGPT form, which then you could then take and transform into a better book in whatever the areas have to be. I said, so you might have less time writing, but you may have more time proofreading and laying out.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a smart approach. This is a smart approach, because like people skip on this.
It's not taking away your job. It's changing your job a little.
Yep.
Right? So part of what I want to do is I want to make people relax a little and think you're not losing your job to a robot yet. The robots aren't coming in for a long, long time yet, right? Even though they're talking about it. And it took, I think, Total Recall with Schwarzenegger and RoboCop with the other guy. I mean, those are 20 years, 25, 30 years ago. So it's taken a long time to get here. We have some time before we lose our jobs. So I want to just ask one other thing, because we'll do this again, because it's a never-ending discussion. How would you address like fears of security and and the ethical side of things, and people using it, or how they use it, or what it's used?
I get asked this quite often, for example, from business owners and stuff like that. There's different perspectives. So I can try to answer this question from different points of view, right? Now, First of all, if we're talking about, for example, data privacy and stuff like that, don't put in it something that is, private to your clients. I got this ask from one of my clients, like, oh, can I add there the passport information from some of the people I get from some of my clients? I was like, no, keep that process manual because they trust you with that information that you're going to keep it secret. So either you find ways to, make that process safe where no data gets leaked anywhere, put AI into it, but as long as it doesn't get leaked anywhere, or don't automate because it's sensitive information that should be kept for you. That's why I think I'm not one of those people like, yeah, I should just automate everything. Don't worry about it. Like, no, some things keep a manual or make sure that they're safe. And if they're not, just do them by yourself. Don't put the AI into it. There's no need to rush and get into legal trouble. First, for data privacy. Ethical stuff. This is a problem, I can tell you, because there's more controversial opinions on this, for example, like with AI stealing jobs and stuff like that. Sometimes it does, but I can tell you why. Because there are some jobs where people, it's what you said, right? If you have more time, it will help you save time on specific tasks, which means now you have a choice. You can dedicate the time that you save to get smarter, do higher leverage tasks, do more creative stuff. So now the responsibility comes to you. Are you doing those? Are you are you becoming smarter? Are you improving yourself? If the answer is no, and you're doing those two simple tasks that you did 20 years ago, just sending an email and then sending an update to the director or something, and you're hoping that the AI would not take that, I mean, you had it coming. Kind of. That's what I'm saying. So for very simple jobs, it is a good idea to use AI to get smarter, faster, and build yourself to be better instead of just hoping that things will not change. Because as we saw in the history of humanity, things improved, right? They substituted the horse with cars. They made the computers that didn't need the humans anymore, but humans are using computers. So
We have Uber instead of taxi.
things change all the time. But what's the common denominator here? People getting smarter, taking action, and getting ahead. If you make the decision to put AI to work for you, to understand these technologies, and to help yourself. But when people decide like, no, this is just a fad, no, I don't want to use the technology, you made a choice. And you will you will feel the consequences in 2 to 3
Yes.
years. For example, today, I could be not using a smartphone, right? I could have like a normal Nokia phone, the flip ones, and I'll be able to survive. But would I be able to thrive in our current interconnected world? Probably not. That's a choice.
No, but you have a lot more time to yourself because you won't be on that smartphone doing everything else, right? Catch 22. The other thing with security, I suggest to people, if you're uploading documents, no names on it.
Yeah. Simple. Really
No name.
simple. Just change the name, put it X or something. Just no name. Make it safe.
So that it doesn't pull up information ever anywhere else
Yeah.
the other thing is if people are, I did it for myself, but go in and put your own name in, ask about yourself, see what it pulls up, start to get familiar with what it's capable of doing and the information, because then when you see for yourself what came up, you might start to think about how you put your own stuff out there.
Yeah. Definitely. So that's why there's also like sometimes when people ask me for more specific spicy prompts and stuff like that, and I tell them, use your good judgment because, I'm not talking about data leaks or stuff like that, but like, would you publish this information on the internet freely? If not, don't do it with AI. Simple as that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we've been going at it for about 40 minutes and we're going to bring it to an end because the next set of questions goes off on another tangent. That's another 40 minutes.
It's another
or an hour.
episode. That's another episode.
Yeah, it's another episode. So before I close out, any final thoughts to my millions of viewers, maybe one day on
To Bill Gates.
what they
To
should.
Bill Gates and your lovely people from the printing industry.
Yeah, one day, maybe. But any final thoughts to the viewers about how they should handle AI or look at AI and relax with AI?
This is what I would tell myself. So we live in an age of abundance. That is the beauty of it, right? So you now have systems that allow you to work twice as fast or make your life easier. Now, the decision is, are you going to use them or not? Because this is what I did in the last 2 years, where I was using these systems and I saved on costs. I made a lot of things, like I built a company. I'm basically able to do the work of like 7 people in one, and it changed my life. Why? Because I decided to put this technology to work for me. You can do the same. There are people out there who's like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. This is cheating. And I don't know how much it changed for them. So the decision comes to you. If you want to get ahead, try it out and get the benefits. because you don't have much to lose if you don't. Like, if you use it, you don't have much to lose. But if you don't use it, I think you have a lot to lose.
Oh, I totally agree. Well said. Well said. Okay, cool. So we're going to close this one out. First of all, Alex, thank you for taking the time. Really appreciate it. I'm sure everyone that's listening will appreciate the ease and simplicity in which you put some things out there. We'll get a little more complicated as we go on, but we'll give them some time to absorb. To everybody else listening, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm going to try to do more and more AI conversations so that you could have a better feel, better understanding. If anybody has any thoughts, any ideas, anything they want to know, they want to hear, do let me know, and I'll do my best to accommodate you. And otherwise, I thank you. I thank you all for listening, to continue to listen. I hope you continue to listen. And that is it for this one. So again, Alex, thank you. Everybody else out there, Warren, I love Print for what they think, and me and everybody. So have a great day, and we will see you soon.
Have a good day, folks. Ciao.